Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, September 5th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, I allow my presence to be the ultimate revolution evolution. And today we are going to be working through our second revolution evolution day of Sun in Virgo. Excuse me. Not to mention, we have Venus preparing to move into Virgo as I record this video. Venus will have moved into Virgo and will be at 0 through a good portion of the day today. So we'll dig into that. I do want to do the Monday week ahead heads up. So Venus into Virgo, that's part of that. We'll dig into that. We're going to have the Sun in conjunct Chiron this week. In conjuncts, not seeing eye to eye, not really knowing how to work together in and through this, but both have healing vibes. I think it's recognizing that healing doesn't always look like what we want it to look like. A lot of the times the healing process is actually very messy, and it can sometimes look like destruction before creation. So keeping that in mind, and I think a larger part of that, which we're going to kind of dig into today, is with Chiron in Aries, making sure that what you're healing is to be more of yourself rather than more of what the world may want from you. So keeping that in mind, that's Wednesday that we're going to have that Sun in conjunct Chiron energy. Of course, we'll dig into that more. We also have Mercury going retrograde this week. Mercury will be going retrograde on Friday. Now, some people make a really big deal about retrogrades. Like, I keep seeing all these things online, like, nothing's going right because we have all these retrogrades. That's not how astrology works. No, that's actually not true. If things aren't going right, it's because there's lessons there. That's how I take astrology. It's like, okay, there's some lessons. Retrogrades to me is like a review. It's basically a planet rolling over these certain degrees. And it's just like hearing something a few times. We as humans are very stubborn, and oftentimes we need to get our lessons multiple times to fully get them. And so just keep that in mind. Yes, Mercury can bring technology havoc, but Mercury also brings technology havoc when it's at 0 degrees and 29 degrees and interacting with Uranus. Like, that happens all the time. So it's really about getting the lesson. And I think with this Mercury retrograde in Libra, beginning in Libra, going back to Virgo, we are going to be focusing on lessons that we get in relationships, what others, our mirrors, are trying to show us. And it's also, I think, to tie into some of this Venus and Virgo stuff as well, releasing the need to be pleasing. Actually have the politics card at the top of my cards, and I just did a reading where that came through so strongly. So interacting with that. We also have a full moon that we're building to in Pisces on the 10th, and the Sun connecting to Uranus on the 11th, which means next weekend we are going to be super tired and wired. But full moon in Pisces, we are calling in the mystic. So let's dig into today. Let's dig into Venus in Virgo. So technically, Venus is moving into Virgo at 9:05 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. Like I said, Venus is going to be at a big fat 0 for most of Monday. And a lot of times that can feel graceless. And yet we're called to bring our inner grace forward, which we're going to need because we got some squares going on. Venus in Virgo, though, overall, is bringing to light the word virgin to me. So, we will often equate the word virgin with celibacy. However, virgin means she who is one unto herself. And I think that this is kind of this overall calling of the Astro right now, is a return to who we really are. Virgo can get caught up in rules, but if you know any feisty Virgos, you'll be like, wow, you're a Virgo? I know many of those feisty Virgos. I appreciate those feisty Virgos because they are embodying the true meaning of virgin, to be one unto themselves, to be beholden to themselves, to their soul, to their own life path, to their own morals. With Venus relationship energy in Virgo. It's a calling to cleanse, to purify all the layers of yourself, right? So Virgo is body, mind, spirit, soul, and heart. All of those layers so that they can come into union, come into oneness within yourself so that you can show up as you truly are. We all go through traumas, filters, learnings, lessons, all of that can change how we show up, and yet there's this original true essence. So with Venus in Virgo, we are being called back to our original true essence. Now when Mercury retrogrades back into Virgo, we can also pull through these layers. Jupiter and Chiron working through Aries are helping shed these layers. So there's multiple places. I would even say Saturn and Aquarius is helping us on the vibrational level of this. So there's a lot of places in the astro right now that feel like they're pushing that lesson. So your work is knowing where you need to integrate, knowing where you have put on those masks. Here we have that politics card in reverse. And maybe the masks have been survival pieces. Survival including a desire to fit in because that's part of the survival tactics. And yet, more and more, we're being called to shed those layers. So are you going to become your primal, wild, authentic self tomorrow? Maybe. Probably not. Maybe. But you can uncover another layer of that part of yourself. And that's what Venus in Virgo is working. Another thing that came up, I feel like I brought this up a few months ago, as I see Primal Wolf over here chasing an ant. Come show us how to be Venus in Virgos, Wolf. This came up a few months ago, but it came up again for Venus in Virgo. Energetic hygiene. It is so easy to pick up other people's energies. Virgo is so good at cleaning, and part of cleaning is your energy field, right? This isn't just about your body. This is cleansing the mind. This is cleansing the spirit. It's cleansing the soul of any of that dust, that muck that we pick up out there. And so maybe going into a habit of some form of cleansing over this month, whether you do it with water, smoke, your mind. There's so many different ways that you can do this. Maybe look up energetic cleansing, connecting your root chakra to the earth and sending anything that doesn't belong into the earth to be transmuted. Again, so many ways that you can do this. What resonates with you as your truest you? You don't need somebody else to tell you. You need to connect to it and be like, that's my thing. And trust that it works for you, especially if it feels like, yes, that feels like me. What I caution us with Venus in Virgo is where we may go a little mental. Virgo is ruled by Mercury in part, and so we can get very mental, and we can even get very hypercritical of relationships with Venus and Virgo, especially if Venus at that 0 degree. Whether it's, again, your relationship with yourself and your health or with somebody else, watch that. Remember that Virgo can bring a healing focus, and rather than focusing on what's wrong, what's not working, what can be healing, and looking to that will bring out your inner magician. Got the existence card. But this is what we're heading into, oneness within ourselves. For today, beyond this Venus and Virgo energy, we have the moon in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn is being a troublemaker. Moon in Capricorn is squaring Jupiter, squaring Mercury, squaring Chiron, either late in the evening or early tomorrow. It's gonna conjunct Pluto tomorrow. Troublemaker, right? And it's gonna trine the sun. But this is a really good lesson, because what we may see in these squares is where we have sold our soul, so to speak. That's the words I'm hearing. Where we have given ourselves away to show up as society has wanted ourselves. Capricorn energy can really represent what society wants of us. Is that Capricorn's highest and best? No. But that's what it's come to represent for many of us. And so we may realize that we may have situations where things are coming up that do not feel aligned with you in your authentic self. So that's the moon square Jupiter. Jupiter expanding your I am right now. And maybe it's bigger. Maybe that energy is bigger. Maybe smaller things are rubbing you wrong right now because it's trying to show you, hey, this was never right for you. This was never good for you. You are doing it because it's expected of you. So be aware of that. That may also be Mercury hanging out in Libra. Libra can please everyone outside of themselves and create wars within the self to make things harmonious and okay, but it's off balance and it's not harmonious and it's not okay. So again, you may feel rubbed a little the wrong way. Now it's interesting because Sun in Virgo trine Capricorn may have you being like, just do the thing to get it done. Just do the thing to get it done. I know that I've done that so many times where things have not felt right, but I'm like, I'm just going to power my way through it. So you will have that ability to power your way through it. But these squares and this work is saying, hey, maybe it's time to take off the mask. Now I know, again, that's not always feasible, but even just starting to understand it and think about it may be the deeper work that we're all working through right now. In fact, we've got the past lives. This is deep, deep work that goes to many lifetimes. And I have the integration card, although in reverse. And in doing so, as we become more aware of what's really in alignment for us and what's not, we will better integrate within ourselves. Right now, we're a little scattered in the things. So I'm going to leave that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.